come to realise how much this lockdown has made us reconnect with nature, because nature has carried on regardless and is doing its spring thing. And for me personally, it's really brought home how much I love being in the natural world. Because I'll be honest, we all have our up and down days at the moment. It's a big unknown. Nobody has control of the situation, not even government. And it can be scary. And there are days where you don't feel so good. But when the sun's out and you can get outside, and it doesn't seem to matter whether it's walking in the woods like we are now, or walking around the roads where we live, you can still connect with nature. Still looks impressive, doesn't it, that? There's a lovely clearing in the woods that we've just arrived at, and it has a very impressive tree. I'm sorry to say I don't know what kind of tree it is, but it's very beautiful. And I think as well, noticing all the shadows on it, you get different shapes. We've upset all the crows, if you can hear them. They're obviously nesting at the moment. This is one of the clearings in the wood. There's various copses along this walk, and this is one of the clearings you come to with this magnificent tree right in the middle of it. Oh, if I was 40 years younger, I'd climb that. I love the way it's just in the middle of this clearing. It always reminds me, I don't know why, it makes me go back in time. I feel connected to history somehow. We're now walking into the next copse. I don't know what they're called. Some of them have got names actually, haven't they?
Yes.
I don't know what this one's called. But there is a lot of underground water here and streams we've discovered. Unfortunately, they don't run overground, which is a bit of a shame, because I love a good stream in a wood. But this is I like a little dingly dell. You can still see in various parts of this walk the ridge and furrow of medieval farming, because apparently there was a village here once, now long since gone, obviously, 1,000 years ago, nearly. And you can see some early ridge and furrow, which is the very narrow strips, and then there's some wider ones, and I believe they were the later ones. There's a tree stump along here that is covered in, is it a type of mushroom, Gary? Like a fungi. And it looks like an artwork, doesn't it? Actually. It's amazing, the colours on it. We're in another clearing now, where there are some very large elms, I think these are. Are these elms or is this an oak? Oh, I should have bought my book. This has got some older trees in it and bigger trees rather than the smaller variety. You can hear a helicopter going over. It's normally the emergency helicopters at the moment, as you can imagine. Walking down a very windy path into a hollow. We're in the clearing now, into the sunshine. And if I look to the right, there's two really lovely oak trees. So I walk down, stand under this lovely oak tree that I think probably is my favourite one. We've watched this come into leaf. There's another little wren bobbing along. Yes, we went, what was it, 3-4 weeks ago when there were no leaves at all. It stood out, this oak did. It's so majestic. I'm stood under our favourite oak, which, as you can see, is huge. They're very grand oaks. When you look at all the gnarled bark and the wonderful shapes of the branches, and then these little tiny leaves, they seem disproportionately small compared to the size of the tree itself. I think if you hugged it, it would take 2.5 people to hug it. So it's quite an old one, I think, but it's beautiful. There's a lot of butterflies today. Trouble is, they're too quick to catch, aren't they? There's so many wrens here. They're trying to take our attention away from the nest, which I think is over on the left here. I do love the wrens. I love their song and the way they bob along. Ferocious little things for their size, I think. That's what I love about them. We're climbing up the side now to a lovely viewpoint at the top of one of the hills. Through a stile and being careful not to touch. On top of the hill now, walking past a lovely patch of cowslips protected from the wind on this little bank. The view's over to the right up to the Cotswolds escarpment, and over to the left is a large bank of hedge and trees from the other park, so you can't really see the view over that way, but it does go on for miles. So it's quite a nice ridge to walk along in the winter when there's no leaves. You get beautiful views in both directions. Views are supposed to be good for you. I think they release endorphins, apparently, that make you feel good. So we're walking into the top wood now, which runs alongside the main bridleway to the top of the hill. go to the left here, we can follow the path, which is the main national route going down into the next village. We have done that walk, it's rather lovely, but today we're going to walk across the top of the hill to the south to the obelisk, or perhaps not go that far actually, and then walk back along the ridge to admire the view going back. Oh, we can smell that. That's lovely, isn't it? We've just come through yet another stile, and we're under a hawthorn tree, and the scent of these lovely little flowers is really strong as you walk under here. It's beautiful. It's quite a heavy smell actually. Across the view, and this is the old kitchen garden to the big house, and there's lots of blossom on the trees, lots of different coloured green. Didn't think green came in so many varieties, but it does. It's very hazy on the horizon, but you can see all the lovely colours of green as you work your way. Your eye follows the line back up to the hills at the back. There's a lot of evidence of ridge and furrow here again. Narrow here, so this is early ridge and furrow. I often wonder what happened to all the inhabitants of that little village that got kicked off their land. I think they had archaeologists in trying to find it once, but they believe it's actually under the big house, so lost forever, I guess. There's a lot of buttercups here. If children still hold a buttercup under their chin to see if they like butter. That's what we used to do when we were little. And I can remember bending a twig out of a hedge and scooping up cobwebs. I used to do that as a child as well. Back onto a tarmac road now. This is where they obviously decided the bridle way was going to start. Probably got something to do with the Severn Trent water thing there. There are houses on this little area here, but the castle type house was actually part of the big house and was what they called a faux castle, so that you could go there, picnic and admire the views. We've come to the end of our walk now, and it's been lovely this morning with the sunshine and the lovely colours and the smells. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we've described it for you to get something out of it. And we're really lucky and grateful that we've got this on our doorstep. So it just leaves me to say bye for now, and keep safe everybody. Bye.